Hi everyone, it's Ashley, and believe it or not, I am back with a process video, and this is for Hip Kit Club. I'm going to be creating a video every week featuring cut files. We have some great cut files for Hip Kit Club. I designed some for each month, and Kim Watson also designed some. This one I'm using right here is actually one designed by Kim. And so I kind of just jumped into this because I got my kit this afternoon, which is actually Thursday, and I'm actually going to be going out of town on Saturday. So I needed to get this done before we left, and I really didn't even get to look at everything in my kit. I just kind of grabbed some of the things that caught my eye, and I knew I wanted to use the ampersand that Kim designed for one of my first layouts, and so I was trying to think of a cool way, something I could do pretty fast but still have a fun look on the layout. So I decided, instead of taking time to back the ampersand with pattern papers, which is one of my favorite things to do, is paper piecing behind a die cut, I decided to cut it from a pattern paper. And so you can see that this pattern paper has a mix of yellow and pinks, so kind of a bright color, and then I layered it over a more subtle pattern of one of the Ellie Studio pattern papers. I think this is from the Little Moments collection, and it just has a subtle heart pattern in the background. So instead of doing paper piecing to add a lot of color behind the die cut, I decided to make the die cut itself full of color using a pattern paper. And I kind of like that open look, and this is a fun way and an easy way and a quick way to use a die cut if you're pressed for time and you want to use a cut file on a layout. So instead of taking a lot of time to back those open spots with pattern paper, just go ahead and cut your cut file from a multicolored pattern paper, and it still kind of gives you that same look. So what I'm doing now is adding my title, and you can see that I used one of the plastic bags that these stickers come in. These are from Pink Fresh Studio, and I just used that to line those up, and you can see a couple of them fell off, which was okay. I just kind of wanted to get that straight across the whole page, and so I just used that little edge right there of the packaging to get those on, and then the three that fell off, I could just stick those back in place and kind of have all that lined up really easily. So if you're doing a long title like that, that's a good tip, is to kind of use that packaging. It's see-through, so you can see where you're placing it if you want to move it around on your layout, just to kind of see where you want to put your title and your letters. And I also had that other little ampersand that was included right there in the My Mind's Eye, my story wood veneers, and so I added that also. And I usually like to repeat kind of a pattern if I have some kind of embellishment. So I cut the life noted arrow from one of the cut files that I designed for April, and then I saw that cute little arrow that was also included in the My Mind's Eye, My Story wood veneer, so I decided to use that on there also. And later on I'll grab another arrow from the Shamil pack of ephemera, and I'm going to add that also. So just kind of repeating that same little design with the arrows going across the page. And if you're wondering what that photo is, I snapped it of my daughter the other day. She was playing on the computer, and that is her stuffed animal Whiskers on her head, because I was actually working on a layout and her computer is behind me, so I turned around and she had the stuffed animal on her head. So Whiskers is a cat, and so I thought that was so funny, and I had to snap a photo of her. And our theme for this week is kind of focusing on friends. And Whiskers is definitely her friend. She has to go everywhere that Emma goes, and you can tell they're very close since she's wearing her on her head. So what I'm doing here is adding some of the Amy Tangerine rub-ons. I just wanted some more pops of color around the outside edge of the ampersand, and these went on really easy. Sometimes rub-ons can be hard to get off. They don't want to completely go onto the page, but these were perfect. They went right onto the layout really smoothly, and I didn't have any that peeled up. And then I'm just using some of our little cut aparts that Kim designed also, and just adding a couple of those. One here at the bottom, and then I'm going to add one at the top also. I just want to kind of pull some things that had those same colors that I had already used, with the pinks and the yellows and the teal. Those are kind of some of my favorite colors together, so that's kind of what attracted me to making this layout, because those were some of the colors that I spotted when I first started just kind of looking through the kit when it came. And like I said, I wanted to get it done quickly so I could have it up for today. And so just add a little border there at the top, just to pull some more of that color up toward the top of the page. And there's that other little arrow that I was telling you about, and I just kind of have that whole little arrow trio right there. And so once I got everything finished, I thought, well, let me add a little more color. So I decided to grab my watercolors and then just paint a few of the colors that kind of match the layout over some of those hearts in the background. I'm sorry it's kind of washed out. I haven't done a video in a while, so I think I had my lights too close. I'm going to try to space those out a little bit better for the next one. But you can kind of see there the color that it's adding over those hearts that are in the background. And I just use, I think, like 4 or 5 different colors to add that on there. And once you see the layout at the end, you can kind of see those pop a little bit more. And I just thought that added some more color in the background. And I also got to play with my watercolors, which is always fun. And I didn't make it really wet when I got the paint on my brush, so that helps to keep your paper from crumpling or crinkling. So I just kind of kept it a little more dry to keep that from happening. So if you are in our member forum, or if you have an account on the Hip Kit Club website, you can download cut files. I have 2 sets for April if you want to check those out. The one that Kim does is our subscriber cut file, so you do have to be a Kit Club subscriber to get access to the one that Kim does, but the ones that I have are free. So if you want to check those out under the downloads, you can do that. And you can also check out the member forum on Facebook for fun challenges and inspiration. And so we hope to see you there, and then I'll be back next week with a new layout. So thanks for joining me.